using the invisible zipper foot. Life is hectic, so I don't upload on a regular basis, so please hit the bell to be notified when I do. There are several different kinds of zipper feet. These right here are the standard zipper foot for putting on just regular zippers. However, in this lesson I'm going to demonstrate the invisible zipper feet. The only difference between these three is just basically the style. They're all invisible zipper feet. They all have the grooves in the bottom. This one is tapered on the front. This has a guide point, and this one is plastic. I'll be using this one so that you can kind of see how things run through it. On the bottoms, as you can see, there's these guides, and that allows the zipper to go through there and to keep it straight. It's harder to show on this one because it's clear, and on this one. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do here is prep my zipper. This is something that you do with invisible zippers that you don't do usually with regular zippers. Open the zipper all the way up, turn it face down, and then with your iron set on a cool temperature so you don't melt this plastic, I'm going to gently open right here where the teeth are, the coil, and try to press it open some. I'm not trying to iron it flat, I'm just trying to get this little section right here opened a little bit so it's easier to sew with the invisible zipper foot. That should be about good. And we'll do the same thing with this side. Press the coil open. Okay, now my zipper is prepped. Now I'm going to prep these two pieces of fabric. In prepping these two pieces, this is not something that you have to do, but I'm going to do it for demonstration just so that you can see more clearly as to the stitch lines. I'm going to mark each one of these 1/2 inch seam allowances. We're going to use that guideline to insert our invisible zipper. Okay, as you go to insert this zipper, you want to make sure where it needs to fall. Your pattern may tell you one thing, another pattern may say something else, so just be careful of that. But the top of the zipper is not this. The top of the zipper is where it stops. If you look at the back, it's where these stoppers are. So that, if you're putting it in a garment, will end up at the top of your garment. This will be in the seam allowance. Since I'm making this panel the full length of this zipper, I'm just starting it at the very top like this, because this will be included in the seam allowance on the two edges. With the zipper closed, to make sure that you've got it on the correct side, lay it in the center of your two pieces. I went back over the yellow chalk line with a fabric pen that disappears with water. That yellow chalk was just very hard to see on film, so I wanted to do something so you could see it more easily. Also, please forgive me if I'm a little bit hoarse. I've had strep throat for the past week, so my throat's a little sore. So after laying this down like this, unzip it. Then I'm going to take the coils, fold them over. Just for a minute, and we'll set that there. Take this one and fold it over so that it's on the correct side. Now this coil is going to lay on your seam allowance line. So starting at the top, or wherever your pattern says that it needs to start, you're going to go down and lay that coil directly on that line. So for right now, I'm just going to go ahead and pin all this on here. I'm going to go all the way down on both sides, and I'll be right back. Okay, I've pinned almost the full length on both sides. If you don't need the full length of the zipper, then before you start, you should put the two pieces together and draw a straight line across wherever the stop is supposed to be, and then you'll just stitch to that stop mark on both sides. On this one, I'm going to be taking it all the way down on both sides. I'll do a separate panel to show how that is done, since it'll be a stop and then there'll be an extra piece. I'll show you how to shorten your zipper if need be, and also how to connect the seam allowance past that part of the zipper. Invisible zippers don't come in as many of a variety of sizes as the regular zippers do. So you're usually going to get one that's longer than what you need. Occasionally you might find one that's the right size. If it's longer than what you need, it's not that hard to shorten them. So I will show you also how to shorten these. The zipper foot has a single hole right in the center. So we're going to have to get the thread through it. Okay, from here you can see that there are two indentions. When the needle needs to be on this side of the coil, you're going to place it in the left indenter. You can see that. And the needle is going to come down through the hole, very close to the coil. Okay, now I'm going to use the foot pedal, so it might get a little loud, so I may dampen the noise. But you're just going to do your lock stitch and then come straight down. at this point, I'm going to do my lock stitch. And remove it. Same with this side. I'll do my lock stitch right up here at the beginning, but since the thread or the needle needs to go on this side, I'm going to be putting it in the right one. As you can see, unlock it. Sometimes these feet may want to hang when it hits this little lock right here. It's because it's thicker. So until you get past this lock, kind of baby it through the hole. And now we can sew. That's as close as I can stitch to this, so now I'm going to lock it. I only stitched up to here on both sides because of that. So I can show you on this one how to continue your seam past that point. Even if you had to stop it up here, it would be the same procedure. It's just mine's a little bit shorter. So the first thing we're going to do is close the zipper. I don't have to close it all the way right now, just to there. And you can see the stitch lines. You need to pull this out of the way as much as you can. And there's your stitch lines. So I'm going to pin these together, and then I'm going to change this to a regular zipper foot so that I can stitch on the side. These are both zipper feet. I'm going to use this narrow one for this. Also, I'm going to want to move my needle as far to the right as possible for my machine. Your machine may be a little different, and you will need to follow your machine's instructions to how to adjust your needle to where it needs to be. So for now, I'm going to go ahead and move it over. Okay, that's as far as mine goes. Then I'm going to take this. I'm going to insert it in like this. I'll try to hold that out of the way. I'm trying to get the needle as close as I possibly can to that point right there. Okay, now that I've got the needle in there, I'm going to change the camera angle so you can see it better. Okay, you can see where I've got the needle in there. It's right on the stitch line. It's very, very close to where these stitchings have stopped. So right there, I'm going to do a lock stitch. And then continue to the end. And I lock the thread at the end. Okay, so it's all stitched in. This is where I stopped on the first pass coming down, and this is where I picked it up to continue the seam allowance. So you see, try to get as close as you can to those two, but lock them very well right there, because there's going to be tension at that point. On this side, you can also see the stitches where it started the seam allowance down this way. And this is how it looks. Can't even see the zipper. Invisible zipper foot is really nice to use. It really helps get those invisible zipper seams very close like that. So now I'm just going to do a very light pressing on this. Okay, this zipper has only got a short little tail. So at this length, and for what I'm making, I don't really have to do anything with that. It's fine the way it is. But if it's this long and you're making a nice garment, then what you can do at this length, I would just probably leave it and then stitch just the seam allowance to the zipper on both sides. That way your stitching will not show, but it will hold it nice and flat. Now, if your tail was very long and you need to get rid of it, I don't need to do that with this, but I'm going to show you how to do it. This is my zipper kit, and one of the pieces that comes in this, they come in different sizes. It's a little bar clamp. It's got little prongs. And what you do, wherever you want it to stop the zipper, so say it's like this long and you wanted to stop it right here, you would push this through the zipper, both sides, and normally on a regular zipper it would go on this side. I would still probably put it on this side because this is the side that's got the I can't even think. This is the side that's got the coils. Okay. Anyways, push it through the zipper like that. And then these little prongs here, you'll take a pair of pliers and then just bend them over to the inside and press it very flat. That's a stop, and then you can cut your zipper right below that. And that's how you shorten the zipper fairly easily. There's also ways of shortening it from the top if you don't want to do that from the bottom. And in order to do that, of course, you would want to do that before you put the zipper in here. But there's these little clamps. They look like little U's. And you would cut the top off. Just cut it however short you want it. But when you cut it, you're losing that stopper. So that's all this is it's a replacement stopper. So you'd put it over the teeth, whatever height you need it, and take a pair of pliers and just squeeze it until it's on there. Like I said, you would need to do this before you insert the zipper, not after. But that's a way that you can also shorten it from the top. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you like these videos. Thank you.